All right, everybody, it's your boy Fernie here, back with another new news of the day video. I thought I would mix another one of these in here because I'm having a lot of fun with this series, and this time I'm going to test something. I'm going to do a shorter one featuring just 5 articles and then see how it goes. Compare it with the longer ones, see which one is more popular, and so on. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share 5 random stories that I found online, once again through the Google News website, and then give my own thoughts and opinions on them too. So let me go ahead and we'll start the new process. Let me load up the pages. Let me know what you guys and gals think too of this series as well. Yep, everything looks good. All right, let's share the first one here. This one I picked because it showcases, kind of like a lot with my mysteries and disappearances playlist, how law enforcement really never gives up. Like, there's absolutely a lot of work that goes into investigations, and no matter how old the investigations are, um, something will be resolved, hopefully later on. This is from 8newsnow.com. It says FBI arrest man in Mexico for 2008 Las Vegas murder. So this is almost 20 years since that murder. And again, law enforcement just kept going at it. It says here, a man wanted for a 2008 Las Vegas murder was in custody Thursday after the FBI arrested him in Mexico. Can you believe that? Wow. They had to go to Mexico in order to find him and then bring him back. Jonathan Romero, 34, faces charges including open murder, attempted murder, and burglary for the death of David Manriquez, 18. Police found Manriquez deceased at his home. Documents indicate Manriquez was dated Romero's ex-girlfriend. A witness told police Romero came into her home searching for Manriquez and then shot him. Wow. Got into an altercation, and during the course of the altercation, he shot and killed the current boyfriend who was in the house. Marquez was shot several times, but then it looks like, doesn't say here, but obviously he must have fled to Mexico, and then the police basically, or law enforcement, kept the case open as is. And so eventually they found him. It says here the FBI located Romero in Mexico. There's not many clear when the international arrest occurred, and he was booked into Clark County Detention Center on May 15th. So again, a good example showcasing how no matter what happens in the world of the mysteries, disappearances, something will be found later on, something will happen, and when that occurs, then it looks like, yeah, we can definitely see results such as these. If there's updates later on about what happens to him, because obviously at this point it seems like it's still going to be going through a case, something along those lines. So innocent before proven guilty type stuff. This is all alleged stuff yet. We'll see if I can provide an update for it afterwards. But again, everything is alleged at this moment. So let's go now to the next one here. I think this is getting easier to showcase, yeah. All right. This one, once again, having to do with the world of Las Vegas. This is from 8newsnow.com again. The reason I picked this one is because Sunset Park is a place that I have been before. This is that haunted park that myself and the beautiful Randy went to on several occasions to be able to do some ghost hunts there. This is the area, if I recall correctly, that is alleged to have many ghosts because of some long ago buried bodies within there. Like, it used to be a makeshift cemetery back in the 1800s or so. So this is Sunset Park. Fire burns half acre. Wow. Firefighters responded to a fire at Sunset Park, which was approximately half an acre. They responded to a fire around 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday. The brush fire, which would make sense in an area like there in Las Vegas, as dry and as hot as it is, and then having that special type of vegetation, you better believe there's going to be fires like that. Broke out in a dense vegetation located between the pond and the fields at the center of the park, and it burned approximately half an acre, and it was discovered about 100 yards west of the original start. Let me see if I can recognize where that is. The problem is, when I've been there, it's always been at night for the ghost hunts. So seeing it during the daytime is a lot different. But there it is. There's the fire there. Most of the active flames were extinguished. Fire is now in the overhaul phase. 28 personnel responded. Due to warmer temperatures, crews were rotated through the response. Yeah, I could just imagine it's 100 degrees there. Imagine the firefighters, law enforcement, everyone out there. They can only be out there for so long, especially in their uniforms before things get too hot for them. Bureau of Land Management also assisted, and so on. The park is currently closed. Oh, they closed the park. So if anybody wanted to do a ghost hunt, they wouldn't be able to go there. But yeah, Sunset Park, that's the place that I've been to. How many times? Was it 2 or 3 times? Somewhere around there. Um, and the area there, like it looks pretty serene, pretty so on, but again, it hides a dark history when it comes to all the bodies that are allegedly there buried within deep in the area there. All right, let's go to the next one. I picked this one because if you're a fan of flip phones like I am, then guess what? Looks like there's a new phone coming out. This is from howtogeek.com. What a name, right? The TCL Flip 4 5G launches in the US with Kaios and Google Apps. I'm still a fan of flip phones. I had flip phones for the longest time, as long as I could, until finally several of the websites, the important websites that I would use, would just no longer work on them. So I had to switch over to a smartphone. But believe me, if there was a chance that there is a viable flip phone that has the apps that I need, and still be able to have the durability and the convenience of a flip phone, like the size and so on, then yes, I would gladly switch back. It says here, TCL Flip 4 5G combines nostalgia with modern features, battery life up to 40 hours. You can never get that with a current phone, right? It runs Kaios. Kaios is that bare bones software program that is there on certain flip phones. It looks like it continues here. 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes storage, 5 megapixel camera, Google Apps. I want to see that. That's what interests me most. What kind of Google Apps? And Snapdragon octa-core, whatever that is. It's available now through Metro on T-Mobile. It's not just nostalgia. It has practical features. It has 5G. All right, there you go. You're obviously not going to be streaming 4K movies on this, but for calls, texts, quick checks, absolutely no waiting. As long as it runs YouTube, that's all that matters really to me when it comes to movies and whatever. As long as it runs YouTube and it runs it well, then that's good enough for me. On the inside, you'll find an easy-to-read interface with large keys, making navigation simple. Speaking of essentials, battery life on this thing is something only OS. Sorry, it looks like the screen. Well, we'll get to the pictures here in a minute. OG cell phone nodes will remember. There it is. There's the phone itself. So it looks like your standard flip phone from the past. It has the screen on the front. You open it up and it has the keypad here. I wish phones were available that had QWERTY, like slider phones. I wish those were back. I wish those were available. Those were my absolute favorite. My big fat fingers on today's phones, on the touch phones, are just impossible with getting multiple errors and having to keep going back and so on. But on a slider phone or anything involving a actual pad with the ability to text, that was so much more convenient. So you'll see there's the text button, there's the symbols. If it has Google Assistant or Gemini as it's called, then that would be amazing. You could then just use voice to text. All right, it looks like it has the camera there. And is that a light? If so, that's great. super slim. There's the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which is important as well, and then a standard USB charging port. I like it. I just need to know what type of Google apps will it run. HD voice. This is the reason too. If you're looking for a dependable, affordable phone that can pull you away from your everyday distraction machine, i.e. smartphone, or you're not really interested in smartphones at all, then it might be worth checking out. It's a great way to not detox from any smartphones, but be able to still have what you need while keeping things, as it says here, as a minimalist phone. That's the kind of stuff that I like. A lot of people are moving towards that too. That's definitely something that is gaining more and more popularity these days, and I agree with it. I agree. What about you? Anybody else out there fans of the flip phone? If so, let me know in the comments below. All right, let's go ahead and let's do the next to the last story here. Share screen. This one involves games. Is it coming up? Okay, there we go. This one is from thegamer.com, and it says, people have very unrealistic expectations. Developers speak on gamers' biggest misconceptions. I'm not in the world of gaming. I gave that up a long time ago, as I've mentioned in the past, but I still follow the news. I still enjoy reading what's going on today in the world of gaming. In an effort to dispel any misconceptions, over 2 dozen developers spoke about what gamers get wrong about the game making process. Specifically, one Powerworld exec outlined how expectations are often skewed due to other games being able to churn out content. Okay. They held a put to bed some of the biggest misconceptions in gaming, from the development process itself to content rollout. Not every studio can turn around content at a breakneck pace. That is true. Today's games, the way they're made, it seems like it takes months just to plan it, another long time to make it, and another long time to fix any potential errors here and there, and then finally take it out or release it. It says, I think gamers have just become so used to this kind of constant cycle, they're now applying it to every game they play. A new island in Powerworld, that's half a year's work. That takes 6 months. Agreed. Looking at some of the content today, like how it looks visually and so on, it's absolutely amazing. This was from a little while back, but that game Alien Isolation is a great example. I was watching a YouTube video walkthrough of it, and I was just amazed at the beauty of those levels and just thinking, how long did these levels take? Every single corner of the level had some detail on there. That's got to take time. Imagine like that with something involving like a Legend of Zelda game. People assume that every process is linear while also being spoiled by juggernaut developers. It's easy to forget that no two games are the same. Yep. Oh, it's a short article. Okay. So not much to say here other than, yeah, it takes a while to make these games, especially in today's world. And when that happens, it tends to skew some of the expectations that people have. All right, and now finally the last one. This one involving something I talked about the other day. This is from AXIOS. How do you say that? Axios? What killing the penny means for you. So I was mentioning this on the other news video the other day. Penny is indeed going bye-bye. Some other countries already have done that. So let's see what it says here. When will penny production stop? U.S. Treasury confirmed U.S. will stop making coins early next year. This will happen after it runs out of the blank templates. Final order of blanks was placed this month. There's an example there. A Canadian penny was discontinued in 2012. So that's what, 13 years ago. And it seems like they're fine on their end, right? Australia and New Zealand stopped producing those type of coins decades ago, and theirs seem to be fine too. Nickel, I mentioned this in the other one. So it says here the death of prices ending in 99 cents. Okay. Treasury told Wall Street Journal businesses will need to start rounding up or down to the nearest 5 cents when there's not enough pennies to use in everyday cash transactions. What do you think is going to happen? I think most likely to be rounded up, right? Cashless transactions will still be priced at exact change. State and local governments should provide guidance to retailers so that sales tax are properly collected. This is expected to change how retailers price items and in 99-cent pricing. There's a term for that when it comes to 99-cent pricing. What's it called? Something discount. I can't remember what it is, but it's a gimmick. Instead of something being $13, if you see $12.99, it looks far more enticing. It will be a dime loafer, Martha Stewart said in February. What does that mean? Who uses cash over credit and debit cards? So it says here, cash accounts for 16% of all payments. Wow. I didn't even realize it was that high. I thought it would be lower. It's the third most used payment type after credit and debit cards. Consumers younger than age 55 use cash for just 12%, compared to 22% for those 55 and older. Makes sense. I carry some cash around, but for everything it's credit, debit cards, because to me it just makes more sense. For safety purposes, also for it's rare, but if something needs to be disputed, you can have more proof from that. Rewards that are on the cards as well is a huge incentive. Low income and older Americans are more likely to use cash. Congress must include language to require rounding up in pricing. This would eliminate demands for pennies, and it will have to produce a lot more nickels. Federal Reserve report found 14 billion. Around 60% of actively circulating coins is in jars. Wow, that's interesting. That is kind of true. I do have a coin collection. How many of you out there are doing the same, where any loose coin just pretty much goes in there? I have some loose coin in my car for any emergencies too, but the rest of it goes into a Godzilla looking bank and then just accumulates there. And in the past, once it gets to a certain point, then I trade them in and then get a couple $100 right there, and then just start the process over. Essentially, we have enough coins, but they're not flowing properly throughout an economy, creating unnecessary pressure to mint new ones. Interesting. Coinstar has 50 million transactions. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. It looks like what killing the penny means for you. There's going to be either rounding things up or rounding things down. It'll be interesting to see how stores react to that. And then it looks like coins that are being kept in little piggy banks are going to be used more. And yeah, we'll see there. All right, that's pretty much it. What do you guys and gals think about this latest news video? Post those comments below. As always, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.